For those of you watching this as a replay, I am posting the link right now to the buy one, get one free. I have 24 pallets of magnesium soak, and I'll explain more toward the end why I'm doing a buy one, get one. It will go fast. Once the 24 pallets is gone, the sale is over, or until February 29th at midnight. Now, the response that started about 10 minutes ago, I'm not sure we'll have enough to get through February 29th, but it could totally slow down, and then it makes it clear to February 29th. If you know for sure that you are wanting buy one magnesium soak, get one free, which does not happen, just does not happen to sell a product at like that, at that price, then, oops, then, oh gosh, oh, I'm gonna get violations for that playing. Oh, hold on. Facebook will give me a violation. Why is that playing? Oh my gosh. Okay, small crisis, breathing, going to my home. I don't know why that kicked into play. Oh my gosh. If this might get taken down. It might not even go up. Ooh, violations. Okay, buy one, get one free, magnesium soak. And I want to talk about thyroid function with the magnesium soak. I also want you to understand that I have no concept of how fast this will go. It had gone really slow. It's been up for, I think, a day or two, maybe two. And it was very slow. I hadn't said anything about it. It was basically just on the website. I sent an email newsletter out and it just blew up. It could slow down though. I don't know if it will last until the 29th. If you are wanting to take advantage of this, please don't wait. My daughter has a philosophy and she says, if you want it, get on it. So don't wait thinking, oh, for sure it'll be there tomorrow, because I only have 24 pallets set aside for this sale. And I think there's, oh, let's see, how many do we get on a pallet? I think there's 500 on a pallet, maybe 550. I don't know how fast it'll go. Okay, let me grab some water. I'm already, well, that had hardly anything in it. I want to talk about thyroid and magnesium, because many people think they have a thyroid problem, but it's actually a magnesium problem. Science Direct in 2015 or 16 did a study on magnesium deficiency and thyroid hormones and conversion. And here's what they found. You need magnesium to convert your thyroid from T4. I always think of T4 as the Eeyore. It's just calm and steady, doesn't give you energy, but absolutely needed. And then T3 is like Tigger, and it's gives you energy, and it, like gets excited and gives you that energy, but it doesn't last as long. Where T4 lasts. They found that 78% of menopausal women didn't have a thyroid issue. They had a magnesium deficiency issue. And because you need magnesium to convert the T4 into usable T3. So that was the first thing that magnesium did. Now, please remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm sharing what I did to get my thyroid functional again and my labs reflecting that I feel good. The biggest part for me was two things: magnesium and selenium. Yes, you can go get a pill of selenium. And if you're allergic to nuts, you might need to. Well, no, not might, you need to. The best form of selenium is found in raw Brazil nuts. In fact, many people, in my classes and things that I've done over the years, and we talk about selenium and the power of selenium for your thyroid, they will reach out 2 to 3 weeks later, and just adding the selenium has made a difference in their thyroid function. And they can tell the difference. It's not just, oh, I'm taking the selenium because it's supposed to help. It's, oh, I'm taking these Brazil nuts with selenium because I feel better when I take them. Now, I used to do 3 to 5. I've had to bump that up. And so for me, I do 8. And I have a little Powerball treat that I make, and it's got some other nuts in it and some almond butter and different things that I throw in there, sometimes some cocoa powder, sometimes some coconut. Anyway, that has my Brazil nuts in it. And so I don't actually eat the just raw Brazil nuts. I eat that with my lunch. Selenium is incredibly important if you want optimal thyroid function. The baseline, the absolute baseline, you will never have optimal functionality in your thyroid if you don't have optimal magnesium levels. I look at my magnesium red blood cell levels. I want every cell having enough magnesium. When that happens, your thyroid is able to convert the T4 into the T3. And so many women, it's not a thyroid issue, it's a lack of magnesium, lack of selenium issue, and the thyroid doesn't have what it needs to make that conversion process. Will magnesium heal all thyroid issues? Absolutely not. No. It will increase the conversion rate, though. And the first thing that happened is a conversion rate drop with most thyroid issues. And so I think of it like going to the foundation of where the problem started to start filling those gaps in so that we're building a strong foundation. The first place I went to was magnesium. There's another pathway that magnesium helps, and that is dropping inflammation levels. Magnesium helps drop inflammation levels. A cofactor to that is boron. And boron helps you hold it in your cells. So the magnesium that you're soaking in puts it in the cell, and boron also brings inflammation levels down. Everything works better when you bring inflammation levels down. Boron, think of it like a buddy to magnesium. Boron is not appropriate for everyone, though. If you have PCOS and your body's converting your hormones into testosterone too fast, boron will increase that. And so please make sure if you add boron that you're understanding the full scope if boron's appropriate for you. For me, it is. It's a very good fit. And I take it varies anywhere from about 6 milligrams to about 18 milligrams a day. And 18 is definitely on the higher end. It's a good fit for me. You have to find what is a good fit for you. And I think that's part of where frustration can lie, and this creates friction. Right now, I am focused on reducing friction in my office. We made an office move. We're still in chaos. I'm really glad for blurred backgrounds because my husband's desk is in total chaos. So I blurred the background. I need to reduce friction because when we have high friction, we have a higher magnesium burn rate, which means we need even more magnesium to meet our thyroid needs. Some of the things that I've been doing to reduce friction is a complete overhaul of my desk. I am just, everything has its place. I've evaluated, why do I have that on my desk? Do I need that on my desk? What systems do I need at my desk? What things am I doing at my desk so that I have everything that I need? For example, I even switched where I hang my blue light glasses to where I hang my files because it wasn't an efficient movement into how I was working it. There's some comments. Oh, I didn't have these up. I'm so sorry. Okay, Kim, that is the kindest comment and makes my day. Thank you. Kim Lawless, and then Kim Little. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name. Happy Friday to you. I love Friday, especially today, because I have grandchildren coming to stay the weekend, and oh, the plans I have and all the adventures that we are going to do. So for me, this is an especially happy Friday. They land later this evening. I'm so excited. Lacey, on local pickup, we needed the space as the company exploded. Last year we had a viral and we just needed every inch of space warehouse wise. We closed down our local pickup and we put it into local places, though, that you can pick it up, but they will not have that buy one, get one. And so you have to determine for you, do you want to go to Lee's Marketplace or NutriShop here in Logan to purchase magnesium and not get the BOGO? Or do you want to place an order online and get the buy one, get one free magnesium? And everybody just needs to make whatever choice is best for them. So no, we do not have local pickup anymore, Lacey. My goal is to get to the point where I can bring that back. For me, it's a balance because if I rent another warehouse, that increases, magnesium cost production. And I do everything I can to keep that magnesium price low. For example, we've had incredible increases on the cost of shipping and the cost of product. I've been able to absorb that and not pass it on. As Team Good Life gets more efficient, our systems become better, our filling becomes faster. All of those things add up to me being able to keep that price the same. Now, I've had a couple people ask me, if you can sell it buy one, get one free, why don't you just bring the price down all the time? And let me explain why this buy one magnesium, get one free is even happening. We put racks in and didn't realize there was a height requirement that I had to stay at because I don't have a sprinkler system. And we had to pull all of that magnesium off and put it somewhere. My warehouses are full. And so I would have had to pay for a massive, like not U-Haul, like the really long trucks. I don't know what they're called. I would have had to pay to have it forklifted, pay to have it taken off site, and paid to have that moved. That's a lot of payments going out. And I turned to my husband and I said, why don't we just move it out really fast and take the amount that that would cost me and put it in a sale price so that people can enjoy a really good price. I have 24 pallets. There's 500 to 550 on a pallet. I have 24 of those that can go toward this buy one, get one free sale. It just seemed ridiculous to me to pay for those 3 steps to hold on to the magnesium. And so this isn't something that I can do regularly with magnesium. It was like this really unique situation of buy one, get one free. Okay, let's hop back to thyroid function. When we add that magnesium, there's 2 pathways. My puppy can't get straight. There's 2, you went over this way? Oh gosh. There's 2 pathways. I have to move my knee. There's 2 pathways that magnesium helps. And it is 1, the conversion of thyroid hormone, and 2, reducing inflammation levels. Magnesium has been shown to reduce inflammation levels. So we've got 2 pathways there that your thyroid is benefiting from. Does it heal all thyroid issues? Absolutely not. No. Is it the foundation for all thyroid issues? Absolutely, yes. Now, if your thyroid has been taken out, you still need to support the hormones being produced. Soaking in magnesium chloride, making sure that that magnesium that you're soaking in meets a standard. And here's my standard. I do not want it remade from flakes. When any magnesium is converted into flakes, no matter how good it is processed and heated and it loses functionality. That flake is not as good as the natural sea brine. Think of it from going the mineral content from white bread to wheat bread. Massive difference, right? You lose the fiber, you lose the minerals, you lose the enzymes. They're both flours, but they're not the same. One has been processed more. The flakes do not have the ability to move your red blood cell numbers. Now, if you just want a bath that relaxes, use the flakes. Absolutely. I personally will never have them on my website to sell because they're so inferior and incredibly expensive to get benefit from. My magnesium is sea brine magnesium. It has not been watered down. You do not have to add on the label that you added water to magnesium chloride. Legally, I could put 50% magnesium chloride and add 50% distilled water and sell it and not have to tell you. My promise to you, my family fills it, Team Good Life labels it. We're in charge of the filling. My oldest daughter, many of you know Megan, she fills it. We do not add any water to dilute it to increase our profit margin. It will never happen as long as my name is on living the good life naturally. Oh, and can I squirrel for a minute? Just a minute. Oh, I'm so excited about this. So we're doing some upgrades to the visuals of living the good life naturally. And at the bottom of every label, it will have KB. I've always signed KB since I was in high school. And so if you see that KB, that's my stamp of approval that this is the ultimate best that there is of this product. And here's another squirrel moment. We brought in more of the olive oil. It's a permaculture olive oil. It is incredible. It's what we use in the muscle cream. Is what I did though, is last year I said to Frank, who's the farmer and processor, so it's farmed and processed right in the same place there in California. And I said to him last year, I want more. I want to be able to sell this amazing oil as a food, in a bottle for food. We use it in the muscle cream, and truly it's what just puts that muscle cream over the top. And so is what we're setting up is that the olive oil bottles, and that's coming very soon to be able to purchase. They're all shipping prepped and everything. That olive oil will be dipped in wax and then have a little KB on the top. I don't know, little things make me happy, and it made me happy, kind of dorky. Okay, back to the magnesium. So those two pathways. Now, if you want to go to the next level, you'll get your magnesium at cell saturation, and that's 6.3. Tanya, a while back, I recall you saying that it's best not to do a soak until 24 hours after the previous soak for best absorption. Is that correct, or did I hear it wrong? So is what I found when I did testing on this is, for example, super busy day. Maybe your day was just insanely busy. You soak at night. And then the next morning, the only time you have to soak is in the morning. You are not going to get the same uptake in the second magnesium soak 12 hours after, because your body uptakes it and utilizes it. And so I want people to understand that and know that I like the biggest bang, the biggest benefit, let's call it that, the biggest benefit for what I invest in. Now, are there times that I have done that? Absolutely. But I recognize I'm not getting the full benefits of uptaking the magnesium. If you go 18 hours between soaks, it drastically increases. If you go 24 hours between soaks, optimal. I live an imperfect life. I don't have optimal every moment of my life. In fact, I will be right back. I wanna show you a squirrel. So stay right there. I'll be right back. Put the dog down. Okay. Okay, it was right. Oh, that chair's low. Oh, you're so welcome, Tanya. When I first started on my journey of creating health and healing the foundation at the cellular level, I really let the pattern of perfectionism leak in. And it was the filter with which I looked at everything. And I had the belief, if I do it perfectly, I deserve better health. We don't deserve better health. It's not a matter of deserving health. I had what I call some good girl energy syndrome playing there. And so I just kept trying to do it perfectly, perfectly. And I researched a lot and I learned a lot. And I actually used that research to beat myself up when I wasn't doing it perfectly. There are times that I soak at 12 hours because it works for me, and I'm okay with imperfect action. It was when I was trying to do it perfectly to deserve better health that I wasted so much of my family's financial resources and so much time and energy because it didn't work. You can't, in my opinion, you can't live it perfectly. Here's one of those things that I am not living perfectly. And there are times that I soak at 12 hours. There are times I soak at 18 hours. There are times I soak at 24 hours. And when I soak at 12 hours, I do not beat myself up like, oh my gosh, Kristen, you should have done this. You know, you're not getting the benefit. I really watch that internal dialogue that I'm not beating myself up. So here is another imperfect action that I'm taking. I really focus on staying away from citric acid. It's why I don't use, excuse me, I might need to grab some water. It's why I don't use natural calm, because every year it's a higher percentage of citric acid, and people just don't realize what citric acid does to your gut. And putting some water in my water bottle. It sounds like I'm using the bathroom. I'm not. I don't know how much the mic is picking that up. Okay, so imperfect action, because I choose to stay away, because I know what it does to my gut. I have actually added a product that has a little bit of citric acid in it. I am really struggling with the water here in Utah, and I've filtered it. I've done all these things to it, and it just tastes, I don't like it. I don't like it. And my water has decreased because I just have to force myself to drink it. So one of my imperfect action steps, because we know that magnesium is hydrophilic, and if you don't have enough water, if you're not a hydrated person, you are getting less benefit from magnesium. In fact, it's one of the first things when people say, I tested my blood work and I'm really disappointed where I was at. I didn't get to where I wanted to, or I'm not feeling the benefit of what I wanted to. The first thing I ask is, how hydrated are you? Not how much water do you drink, but how hydrated are you? Because if your voltage is off, even if you drink a lot of water, your cell doesn't uptake the water. So it's so incredibly important to make sure that your voltage is spot on with your hydration. Well, if you're like me and you're fighting the taste of water, here's what I did, my imperfect action, and maybe you've used these before. It's called True Grapefruit's my favorite. It comes in lime, lemon, orange, and grapefruit, and I have all of them. Let's see, can you see that? I think it's blurring it. Maybe if I put it right in front of my face. Does that show very well? I've got my husband's death blurred behind me. It's crystallized. Oh, there, right there. I think it shows. It's crystallized grapefruit and a little bit of citric acid. Oh, is it still blurry? Maybe if I go there, does that show it? I think it's only letting my face. Okay, it's called True Grapefruit. I grabbed it off of Amazon, and it's just this little packet of crystallized grapefruit, so real grapefruit. It does have a little bit of citric acid though. I'm okay with that because it's helping me to drink more water because of the flavor. Oh, Jill, how do you get the BOGO deal? Jill, it is on the website. If you go to, you might have to clear your cookies. Sometimes if you're not getting the updated version of the website, it's because you're going to an old version of the website. And so you can clear your cookies or hit refresh a couple of times. And Jill, if you'll go back, let me make sure it's there. If you'll go back to the top of the comments that are on, let's see, are you coming in from Facebook or YouTube? Okay, Jill, if you'll go back to the top of the comments on the Facebook thread, there's a link that will take you right to it on the website. And then it's also on the front page, it says sale, and that will take you to it also. I did throw the link on there. Anyway, the true grapefruit that, oh wait, there, is it still blurry? Oh, you're so welcome, Jill. The true grapefruit is my imperfect action on hydration. And I'm not beating myself up saying, oh my gosh, that citric acid isn't perfect. It's not good for my gut. My gut's in good shape. And I'm okay taking that little bit in while I figure out how to increase my water uptake. And I love grapefruit. I grew up with a mom that we had citrus in our backyard in California, and my mom would go out and pick grapefruit fresh every morning, cut them, and that was our first thing that we ate of the day. I love grapefruit. My husband does not care for grapefruit, but he likes the lime. So there are different citrus flavors, and that little oh, was that better? I got right, I think right there. It's just called True Lime, True Lemon, True Grapefruit, True Orange. Just comes in little packets. And that imperfect action step has helped my hydration levels massively. As I balance imperfect action, that's a good fit for me, even with that little bit of citric acid. When I first started on my healing journey over 20 years ago, that perfectionism and all or nothing and oh, it's not perfect would have stressed me out if I was drinking it. And now I drink it and I'm like, dang, I'm really glad I found this. It's helping me get hydrated and I'm not stressed about that little bit of citric acid. And that reduces friction in my body. Just like my desk, I'm reducing friction. Oh, in fact, I'm going to turn it's oh gosh, it's so nice. It's a daylight and it helps with neurotransmitters when you're on the computer a lot. And I just turned it on. I forgot to turn it on. That helps reduce friction. Finding ways. So I would love to know where is your friction? Do you know where your friction is in your life? My desk was causing friction. Another thing that I do is I keep these in a little basket down by my feet. Typically around 4 o'clock, my shoes are off here in the office, and I love to roll them on that. That reduces friction. I also have, let me pull this. So I just want to share with you all the ways that I reduce friction. I do want to ask you how you reduce friction, or maybe what your friction is. I have a little foot pad, and putting my feet on that pad while I do what I call chair work is relaxing, and it reduces friction for me massively. I would never not have that under a desk that I'm sitting at. And I have actually two here, and I have them under both. Massive. It's not about adding all the things that you see. It's about asking yourself, where is my friction? And what are the options to reduce that? So many things around us, we can reduce that friction. And when we do that, it makes our magnesium more effective in our body because our burn rate is lower. I don't want to have to be soaking in magnesium every day. I want my body to hold on to it, and I want to live the good life in a way that I'm reducing friction and decreasing how many times I have to soak. And even saying that, I still do the 30-day challenge, usually twice a year, sometimes 3. Usually twice though. Oh, Tanya, after your 30-day lab test, you were disappointed. Didn't test prior to soaking, so not sure how much I went up, but I stayed almost the same as when I tested last June. Okay, Tanya, would you be okay if I threw some ideas out? Are you still on? I would love to throw some thoughts out of things that I've learned over the years. Are you still on here, Tanya? Oh, okay, great. I always want to ask permission. And please, Tanya, throw anything in and we'll do a little one-on-one here right now. I talked about this earlier. I'm not sure if you were on. To hold and utilize magnesium, your cells must be hydrated. Not just how much water you drink. How much are you holding onto at the cellular level? If your voltage is off, your cell is not uptaking. And remember, voltage is magnesium, potassium, and salt. That's voltage. That gives you voltage at the cellular level. Those are the first 3 things, personally, that I think anyone should focus on if they're not as healthy as they want to be. When you put those building blocks into place in the right proportion for you, everything gets better and easier. And I like easy. I love easy. I don't want to make it hard and complicated. And I don't want it to be this great big long experience. I want it to happen. When you have your voltage on, typically the biggest one that helps put water into the cell, salt pushes it in. Adding just on your tongue. Oh, I need to bring that to my desk. Oh, here. So I have, in fact, I want to do a big, like go through my business purse and show you my, I just updated my setup and I want to show you, where did I Oh, maybe it's not in here. Okay, hold on just a sec. But salt will help push that magnesium. Oh my gosh. Okay. In the update, I took out my little salt pack. I will put that back in. I carry salt everywhere. I have salt in my cars. I have salt in my husband's car. I have salt, well, typically in my business purse, my personal purses that I use, salt. No one can tell you how much salt you need, Tanya. It depends on where your body's at. If you have high blood pressure, you have to really watch the salt because your system's out of whack, and adding too much will aggravate that. I don't have high blood pressure and I can do a lot of salt, and salt helps push that water into your cell. There are also some medications that if you are on specific medications that you have to monitor your salt levels. Always make sure that you're doing your salt levels what is appropriate to you and your body, and it will change as your body heals. I've seen that across the board. I know mine was that way, but as over the 20 years that I've watched clients and people that I've worked with, you just see that across the board. As they get healthier, their bodies can handle more salt, which increases adrenals, which increases thyroid function. Determining, and I just put a little pinch of salt before I drink water. And that helps push it into my cell So that's one thing. The other thing when numbers are not moving is taurine. And taurine is an amino acid. I, let food be thy medicine. In fact, on the back of the olive oil label, that's what it says, let food be thy medicine. And I still believe in the power of food. It's not the same as what it used to be, though. And so when I see people not having enough taurine, they're not holding the magnesium in their cells, I go supplementation because I don't see it happening with food. I've tried, I've seen clients try, and you add the supplementation in and boom, it's within 2 to 3 days. And again, make sure, oh, are you cold? Make sure that it is appropriate for you to add taurine. There's less contraindications on taurine, but there might be something out there I'm not aware of. So make sure that's appropriate. I can't tell you how many people will feel so much better after adding that cofactor to magnesium, and it's taurine. Another one are Bs. The B vitamins are okay, let's see. I don't want to make this too long. Sometimes I just ramble and I don't want to ramble. If you have high inflammation, you're lacking certain things. And adding those things in and trying each thing separately. I'm a huge believer in adding one thing at a time and determining what's happening in your body. And my philosophy is magnesium shines the light on what's happening in your body. And Tanya, if you're comfortable, I'd love to know what you were at. That will give me so much feedback on where to take this. B vitamins are very important. Now, I use bee pollen for my B vitamins. There are times that I supplement with B vitamins. If I am supplementing, I am using a methylated version. Methylated is a shorter journey to become active in your body. And even if you don't have methylation issues, you might not have every station set up to put that B vitamin in the next place to help it become active. So methylated vitamins just help reduce that chain and it doesn't take as long. And so if I am supplementing, then I'm using a methylated B, and Bs are critical to hold on to your magnesium. Think of it like a family, and they support each other, and they're very important. Now, I just saw your numbers. Let's see, I don't want to, okay, I want to make sure I'm not diagnosing. I'm just sharing. I'm not a doctor, Tanya. I'm just sharing the data that I picked up for you to make the best decision for you. And this may not exactly fit for you. You and I have never met in person, so I don't have any history or anything. Typically, when women, and here's the thing, magnesium works with men also and children. My focus is women. And so when magnesium is below a 5 on your magnesium red blood cell test, not the serum, the magnesium red blood cell test, that's when most of the time there is a crack in the foundation that has to be fixed. Because if you don't, you'll just soak and soak and soak and soak, and you might feel a little better, but it will be very expensive to keep your magnesium because you've got this crack. And think of it falling through the crack. And the lower you are under 5, the bigger that crack is, and it's draining the magnesium. And so my goal is to do this so the magnesium isn't falling through. You might want to consider adding boron. Now, we talked about taurine, holding it in the cell. Taurine has very few complications. Taurine doesn't have contraindications, and it's just a good across the board for many people. Boron is more efficient at holding magnesium in the cell and reducing inflammation, but it does have contraindications. And if you take too much, you could put your body in trouble. And so it's not one that you just take and there's no consequences. You have to make sure it's appropriate for you and with any medications that you might be on or any diagnosis that you might have. If you have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, do not take boron. It will make your body convert to the testosterone faster. And people with PCOS have too much testosterone running in their body. You add boron and you will have even more. Boron is, oh, that's a great question. Can I just add boron to the foot soak? You can add a pinch, but it's not the same as taking it internally. It's a different pathway. Boron changes the pH of the water and can increase us by a very small amount your uptake of magnesium. It's not doing the function and it's not the same pathway as when you take it orally. When adding boron, the best pathway that I've seen is doing 3 milligrams. Just try 3 milligrams and see how that works. After investigating, can I take it with the medications that I'm on? And am I okay to take it with any disease that's currently happening in your body? Boron will reduce inflammation. If you have high inflammation, you need to get that down for the magnesium to move through your body more efficiently. One of the tests that for me, that's really important is my C-reactive protein, high sensitive C-reactive protein. I get that tested once a year. And the reason for that is it shows your inflammation markers. And that way I can look year to year, which way am I moving in my inflammation? Now, it's not get your C-reactive protein blood work done, do a couple things for a month, and then test it again. It's a very slow moving test. Once a year is a good fit for me. I can go back to right after my crash when I was in the wheelchair just over 20 years ago, and I have a C-reactive every year. And I have that in my files, and so I can track where my inflammation is going. For me, it's a very important marker that I want to be on top of and know, because there's been some years I went up. Well, obviously what I'm doing is not moving me in the direction that I wanted to move. If you have high inflammation markers on that C-reactive protein, if you don't have that test, that's fine. If you wake up in the morning and you just have to almost like get your body moving, you're stiff, and that can be a sign of high inflammation. If you have arthritis, that's a sign of high inflammation. So there are other ways to see if you've got high inflammation levels. Bringing that down, that inflammation down, is incredibly important to help the magnesium be more efficient. Ways that I see it working the fastest are adding boron, if appropriate for your body, getting morning sunshine. Morning sunshine is the best sunshine to reduce inflammation markers. and making sure that you're not eating foods that are increasing your inflammation levels. Those are all three factors that can help bring that inflammation level down. Now, when we start dropping down in the fours, one of the things that I'll ask people when I'm working with them is, talk to me how your body reacts when you eat food. Do you get tired? Do you get really sluggish? Does your belly bloat? Do you get gas? Do you have to go right to the bathroom? When you go to the bathroom, do you have undigested food? Do you get acid reflux? And many of those questions are all the same source of low hydrochloric acid. And so doing a betaine protocol can jump your magnesium levels up. Now, a betaine, this might be too long. Is this just too long? Am I overwhelming you? Sometimes I go into too many details because I want to make sure you know all of the pathways. And at the same time, though, it can completely and totally overwhelm people. So for the people who are on right now, would you just give me a yes or a no if this is overwhelming or helpful? Because I can't control it. It's up to you. I don't want to be a part of the problem of people walking away feeling overwhelmed. And so maybe I should have just done one thing. Oh, Corey and Ruth. Okay, thank you. And Mason, thank you. Okay, I'm going to keep going then. On the betaine protocol, this is such a huge thing for so many people, and it will drop your inflammation, increase your magnesium levels, and make the hugest difference in your gut function if you do it correctly. It is a supplement. Personally, I would never do betaine without pepsin. Pepsin protects from the betaine. And when you go into it, seems to be the deal breaker if you understand this concept. Betaine is not take 2 capsules and it's better in 2 weeks. It is more powerful than, if you need it, it is more powerful than any supplement that I've ever seen, but it also needs epic customization. If you go into betaine, a betaine protocol, just thinking, oh, I take, the bottle says take 2, boom. It just doesn't work that way. If you go into the betaine protocol saying, I'm taking this next 6 to 8 weeks and just focusing on adjusting my betaine levels according to what feedback my body's giving me. Think of it like a relationship. Oh, my grandkids are coming this weekend. Very important relationship to me. And it's one I'm very invested in, and I give it a lot of focus. Like I've got their hotel room. It's going to be all set up with some squishmallows and balloons and little projects that paper airplanes we're going to do together and all the things. I pay attention to the details because the relationship is incredibly important to me. I look at supplements through the lens of relationships because supplements are supporting my health. That's very important to me. Being in that wheelchair 20 years ago, having seizures, and my head had to be supported. I couldn't even hold it up. It cost my family so much that can never be replaced. And I think for me, because of that, I value my health. Like, I invest in it. I take care of it. I never want to be at that place again. And so I look at supplements as a relationship. And when I add a supplement, I only add one at a time with the expectation this does not replace food. This is supplementing and supporting the good sunshine, the good food, the good hydration, the good sleep, and the good magnesium levels that I have. Betaine is one of the most intertwined, you need to pay attention to detail supplement that I've ever experienced or seen in other people. So when I go into it knowing this is an important relationship and I'm paying attention to what's happening. When you do the Betaine protocol with pepsin, if appropriate for you, if you have ulcers, you can't do it. So if it's appropriate for you, then is what needs to happen is you take, I like to take one in the morning and then watch for 24 hours. Did anything change with my digestion, with how my body handled food, with my bowel habits? Did I see anything with burping, with acid reflux? There's so many things that it determines. Did I see a difference? And in fact, never have I seen one be enough. The next morning, about 20 minutes before your meal is the optimal time to take the betaine. About 20 minutes before your first meal, I would take two. And then I would wait 24 hours and I would watch. How is, am I bloating? Do I have gas? Am I burping? Okay, we're going to get a little personal. Did the smell of my gas change? A lot of people will report that. They'll be mortified and be like, Kristen, I can clear my family out of the room because the smell is so bad. And typically, getting to the level of betaine that you need, that goes away. And so you're even looking for that. Have my bathroom habits changed? Do I still have undigested food when I go to the bathroom? Am I bloating, belching, burping, acid reflux? Looking at all of those things. And you'll look after taking the second in the morning, you'll focus on that 24 hours and just pay attention. Do I get really sleepy after my food? Am I not experiencing that as much? You want to see those benefits happening. Now, you may start to see them at 2. You'll still add a third the next morning. Is what we're wanting to get to is where you actually took a little bit too much because your dosage is one less than that. And you will know that you took too much betaine when you get a tightness, a burning sensation, a hot sensation. Everyone explains it a little bit differently. When you hit that, immediately mix some baking soda and water and drink it to neutralize it. The baking soda will neutralize the excess betaine that you have because the too much is doing damage, just like too little is. When you hit that though, then you know your dosage, 1 below. And you take that every time you have protein at a meal. So if you're eating a meal that has protein, you are taking that betaine. And betaine is one that I evaluate every 3 months. Where am I at? Like, okay, I've been on this dosage. Is this still a good dosage? So every 3 months, I'm evaluating. Typically, if your hydrochloric acid levels are low, then most people minimum of a year need to be on it for a year. It's not a supplement that you're on long term, and it's a supplement that when it needs to be taken, you need one at your desk, you need one at your purse, you need one in your car, so that wherever you are, you have access to take that before you're eating. It is an incredibly powerful tool and can actually move your magnesium levels even though you haven't soaked, because your body will utilize the magnesium more efficiently. It also is one that you can do damage if you take too much. And some people have a disconnect between their brain and what their body's experiencing. That can come from trauma, that can come from being a migraine sufferer or chronic pain like my husband has. And it's a coping tool to help you get through the day. My husband has a disconnect because of the pain that he experiences, and he just mentally has to cut it off. Now, he still experiences the pain, but talk to migraine people. Migraine people can push through things like no other because they've learned how to dismiss the pain so they can even function with the migraine. Trauma can do it also. If you had trauma as a young child, you learned how to cut that off. People that have that experience need to really be careful with betaine because they're not getting the feedback from their body. And especially those people who are stuck in fight or flight, they're not getting feedback from their body. And so they can overdo it without recognizing the symptoms or feeling the symptoms in their body. I personally would never go over 8 betaine pills ever. I wouldn't do it. Even if I didn't get to that burn, even if I didn't. And you can get to the point where you're like, I should buy stock in a betaine company because, think of how many times you eat. And if you're doing that for a year, it is, if needed, the most life-changing supplement I have ever seen in people, ever. And that's not just me, that's not just my family. Thousands and thousands of women that I've interacted with, been a part of their journey, and it is the most powerful. And if your magnesium red blood cell number is coming in under 5, chances are, not everyone, but let's look into betaine to see if that's a good fit for you. And that will take that gap that the magnesium is leaking through and close it on your foundation. So, okay, let me see here. Oh, wait. What came up? What is going on? Oh, do you have a video of your story and starting with magnesium and why? I would love to see that. I should, but I don't. I do have, it was the very first podcast that I'd ever done, and I was a guest on their podcast, and her name is Ashley James, Learn True Health. And if you will search Ashley James, Learn True Health, Kristen Bowen, I have done 2 podcasts with her, and the first one has my story there. I so recognize that people, that story is an important part of my life. For me, it's also a part of my life that I miserably did not show up for my family, and I still see things in my adult children that was not set up for them when they were younger, and things that they had to do, they had to become little parents. They weren't little children. They were little parents because I was so sick. And, the goal of the day was to open my eyes and recognize the people around me. And if that happened, that was an amazing day for their mom. And so there's still things that my children are healing from and that I'm healing from. And it's a story that I don't want to tell it in a broken way. And I still have healing things that will come up sometimes that I recognize, that needs some inner work to be done on that. And my goal is by the end of 2024 that I have a script that is not broken, but sharing with you my transformation on video in one place so that people can go to it. I tend to not talk about it because it was the most broken. I mean, my family lost everything financially because of my health. Our home, we were without a home for a while. My husband made it seem like we were on a long camping trip, but in actuality, we were homeless. And anyway, so yes, by the end of 2024, my goal is to have that on video in a way that isn't dragged on or broken. The best place, though, to find that is Ashley James Learn True Health podcast. Ashley's delightful. I didn't realize how easy she made it for me to be on that podcast. I've been on tons of podcasts, and sometimes it's hard because the podcaster and their ability to ask questions and interject and move the dialogue along determines the quality of the podcast. And Ashley is really good at that. Oh, hey, I'm on a live. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm hugging you. Okay. Hugs. Shelly just came in. See ya. Thank you. Many of you know Shelly. She's the support specialist here at Living the Good Life Naturally, and she doesn't work on Fridays, but she came in to pick up a couple of things. So it's so fun to see her. But that's the best place for that story. So, okay. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for that and giving me that soft place to be with you. I appreciate that. It also is important to me because I have overshared on social media in the long time ago about my children and the experience, and that wasn't mine to share. And it caused some pain. And I just want to put it together in a way that is healthy, with good boundaries, without being broken, and without being too long, because I could be called the long-winded queen. In fact, I was doing some editing to get this one part off of a live that I did, and someone asked me a yes or no question, yes or no. And my answer took just over 3 minutes. And I was mortified. I was like, in fact, I haven't been online a lot since. And I've been trying, how do I not be so long-winded and just quickly and efficiently answer the question? And so I'm learning. Oh, Tanya, is there a brand that I prefer? The only thing I've used numerous, and in trying to be able to answer that question. And here's the things that I look for. I like it in capsule form, not tablet. I like it with the least amount of fillers, and it absolutely must have pepsin. I don't see a difference in that. But those are the things that I look for when I am purchasing betaine. Oh, what's the BOGO deal? Karen, I'm so glad you asked. The BOGO deal, I would have had to have paid a lot of money to move out some magnesium because we had to bring our racks down to meet the fire safety standard. We put them in just a couple weeks ago and didn't realize we couldn't go up the full 18 feet of the warehouse. We could only go to 12. So think of 5 warehouses and the magnesium that had to come down between 12 and 18 feet. And instead of paying to have them moved and for a massive long haul diesel, massive truck, and paying time and renting somewhere to store those, I turned to my husband and just said, okay, let's just give people the benefit so that they can get a great price. So the buy one, get one is on the magnesium soak. And I'll see if I can, oh yeah, it did. I just pasted that in the comments again for you so that you can click right on it. You can go to livingthegoodlifenaturally.com and the BOGO is on the front page, and that link will take you right to the BOGO. And if you're doing the 30-day challenge, you need 2 bottles for an adult. The 32 ounces holds 16 adult soaks and 32 for children. And you'll need 2 for the 30-day challenge. The cool thing about this sale is magnesium does not have a shelf life. It's indefinite. It doesn't go bad. And so it is a great time to stock up on magnesium. It can be frozen. When it freezes, you might have to reincorporate the magnesium. It can get hot, so it can be in a variety of conditions. We tested all of those and it stayed stable. It didn't change its quality. It didn't change its ability to move you and your red blood cell numbers, because that's my only goal with magnesium. I know many people will say, oh, I take magnesium to relax my shoulders, or I take magnesium to do this, or I take magnesium for my thyroid. I take it for sleep. I just take it to maintain cell saturation, and then those things are taken care of. For me, just a simpler process, less friction in my brain to do. My goal with magnesium is cell saturation, 6.3 or above, end of discussion. When I'm at that, my sleep is better. All of those things that magnesium does for us are better. And yeah. Okay, so, oh, you clicked on the above link and ordered for you and your neighbor. What a wonderful neighbor. I love that. Thank you for sharing that with me, Corey. That makes my day to think of you and your neighbor getting magnesium. That just makes me happy. Can you repeat the amount for kids? Absolutely, Corey. Now, I have kids. All of my kids are adults. And one of my kids, obviously, is the youngest. And I call her my baby girl. She will always be my baby girl. She's 6'1.5". So even though she's my baby girl, she needs an adult dose. And some of my boys at 10 and 11 were adult sized doses. You want to look at the height and weight of your child. And I do not have, and it's one of the things that I need to track and pull out some data for you. I do not have at this height or at this weight, they cross from a child to an adult. If they're really tall, if they're a 12-year-old that shot up If, like I have a nephew, um, and his name's Noah. We call him Woa. he's, he's, an adult now and about to graduate from high school. But when he was little, he was the linebacker. Like he was just built like a linebacker. And he's actually a football player and has scholarships and all of that. If you have a child that is, he was just like a refrigerator, then estimate like, okay, this one we need to do an adult dose. I would actually start with the child's dose and see if you see benefits before upping it if they're in that questionable area of, oh, do I put them to adult? But again, my goal, my philosophy is the least amount in for maximum output. And so that would help me know if I can give them a 16th of a dose, that magnesium bottle is going to last for 32 soaks at an eighth of a cup. Versus if they have to go to a quarter of a cup, that magnesium soak is only going to last for 16. Minimum in, maximum out. And I'm always looking at that sliding scale to determine what I need to do. Oh, Karen. First of all, just standing with you for what you went through during your cancer journey. My family is considered downwinders, so they grew up in that area that is a known cancer, very high cancer. It's John Wayne was a downwinder from all of his filming out in the desert and what they were exposed to. So when I see people that have experienced cancer, the treatments, their magnesium drops, and the magnesium makes such a difference. It does not heal cancer. Please understand, I'm not saying that. Karen, I'm so glad that you experienced the benefit. And it feels like I got to be a little part of the goodness in your life compared to the experience that you went through. So thank you so much for sharing that with me. Yeah, thank you. Oh, they're still pretty short. I'd do 1/6, or not 1/16. I would do 1/8 of a cup then. 4 to 14, your 14-year-old may have crossed that line into adult, but again, I would start with the smallest amount to see if I could get that maximum benefit. And if they're soaking with a 16th, then, and they're sleeping better, after a while of soaking, you become less reactionary. You don't react as much. And so if you're seeing that, then, all over that. Oh, okay. I am so glad you asked this, Angelica. Let me get a little bit of water. The Magnesium 30-day challenge was set up so people had a structure. It's not an exact. Absolutely. If that doesn't work for you to do the 30-day challenge, then make it work for you. That's the most important thing, is taking the system that I set up and taking the benefits of that system and making it work for you. And so if you were going to do done every other day, 4 days a week, if you were going to do 4 days a week and stay consistent with that and work on your friction, work on your hydration, add some taurine to hold it into your cell, I have seen people do that in 2 months. I've also seen people do that in 5 months, more in 2 months than I do 5. It will be a personal, so I can't give you an exact, but I have seen it done in 2 months. Please, I hope that as you do and take that system that I created and modify it and make it work for you, that when you soak, it's not, oh, I can't do it every day. I'm not doing it well enough. I'm not doing it right. I hope that you celebrate that you had the bandwidth to make it work for you. And that's what creates optimal health. Imperfect action creates optimal health. Yeah. And so that, oh, friction, Ruth. Friction is little things that bug you create friction. My desk, not, I just moved from my other office back into the warehouse because we added more warehouses. And my desk is not completely set up yet because I'm doing a brand new computer system with mics and all sorts of things. It's going to be really awesome. It's creating friction for me right now because it's not done. And I thought it would have been done a couple of weeks ago. Our adjustments that we had to make in the warehouse was like a 7-week long process that just took it out of us. It's creating some friction. And so I am focused on getting it done to reduce that friction. The more friction we experience, the higher our magnesium burn rate. So living the good life and stepping into living the good life is not just about soaking. It's about removing friction. It's about recognizing those tools that help you. For example, I have an anger journal. It's just, I call it a dump journal. And when I'm mad, I just write it all out in that journal. That helps me to get it out of my head, out of my body. I see it. I laugh at some of it because I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. And that's a little ridiculous. And oh, I'm still mad at that. It helps me reduce the friction of the thing I'm angry about. Now, someone who hates journaling might not work because they hate journaling. It's about acquiring tools that you have modified that work for you. That reduces friction. I have a little foot thing that I can rest my feet on under my desk. I have a light that is specifically made that when I'm in front of a computer all day, my neurotransmitters are staying optimized with that light. That reduces friction. My blue light glasses, these are Caddis. Aren't they fun? They sent them to me. I didn't buy them. They were very gracious and sent me a ton of them. I love these glasses. They're the best blue light glasses that I have ever used. They reduce friction. I don't get headaches when I'm on the computer. I don't get tension like I was getting because of these glasses. It's about soaking and reducing friction so you soak less. My ultimate dream and why I started living the good life naturally is to help women wake up in the morning feeling really good, because when they do, they immediately start lifting other people around them. They become more aware, they become more proactive, and that makes a difference in the lives of children. And when children have a better upbringing, a better environment, someone that has their back, it changes the course of humanity. And soaking is a part of it. Reducing friction is the second part of it. Bringing those together step you into the good life. So, okay. Oh, they are Caddis, Caddis. And that might, oh, I don't think it has a second S. I believe it's Caddis. And the thing about Caddis is they're not a coating. Like um, pretty much every other blue light is just a coating. These are actually ground into the glass, and they're the best blue light blockers that I have ever used. I love them. I had purchased a couple pair, and then they sent me, because it's the number one question I get asked other than magnesium is, where'd you get those glasses? And so I would always tell people and tag them. And I've been doing that for years. And they reached out and said, we didn't realize you've been sharing our glasses for years. Would love to send you some. And so they gifted me like so many different, I have them all right here. They gifted me so many. Oh, those are kind of fun with this outfit. So many different pair. And the other really cool thing about them is if you need a reader, you can put a reader in them. If you have a prescription, you can put your prescription in them. So I want to show you these. This next pair is not caddis. I thrifted them, but aren't those too fun? Anyway, squirrel moment. But I love my caddis glasses. And you can get them online. I don't think they have a store. They originated out of Utah, and now I believe they're in New York City. So they might have a store in New York City. Oh, you're so welcome. I adore them. Okay, Mason, this is going to be the last question, and then I'm going to hop off because this has been a very long live. The long-winded queen did a long live. Imagine that. I do want to answer this question, though. There are 3 stages to soaking. The first stage is when you soak and you get so relaxed and you just want to go to bed. The first stage, soak at night. The second stage is you're building a trust bank with your body, and your body's like, hey, I'm starting to get enough magnesium on a daily basis. And now I've got enough magnesium to create some energy in this body. So stage 2, if you soak at night, it can, like, when I was in stage 2, all of these ideas and creativity, and I wasn't sleeping very well. That's stage 2, and you need to move that earlier in the day, early morning, early afternoon, but not right before you go to bed. And then there is stage 3, where you have built the relationship with your body and magnesium. It knows it's getting consistent levels of magnesium, and it does what you need. Based on your circadian rhythm, if you need energy, it will energize you. If you soak at nighttime, it will calm you. So I think of magnesium as the self-balancing mineral once you build that relationship. So many times is what happens is it'll start to keep them awake and they'll stop using it. Oh, that magnesium doesn't work. My goal is to help people understand the communication, and magnesium shines the light on different things in your body. And that typically is your adrenals were tired. And so they get the magnesium and then they go into burst of energy. But as you build that trust bank, then the energy or calm stays consistent with what you actually need. And I have tried to track the time frame on that, and it is a unique journey for each person that I cannot find, like, oh, there's a majority that does this. It's all over the place. There are 3 definite stages, though. If you're in stage 2, just move it to the morning and know you're close to getting to stage 3, where you can soak whenever is best for you. And it gives you more freedom in that soaking time. Okay. Magnesium soak, buy one, get one free. I'm really excited. I have, was it 14? 12. Oh, 24? Oh my gosh, now I can't remember. No, 24. I have 24 pallets. The sale will last. My husband's calling it the leap year sale. He said, we just need to celebrate leap year. There's no sales around leap year. So it's the magnesium leap year sale. It will end on February 29th, Mountain Standard Time at midnight, if we still have supplies, or until supplies run out. I have those 24 pallets, and when they're gone, they're gone. Please, the sale's over. So if we run out tomorrow, the sale's done. I have no idea. Right now, it is flying, but we won't stay at this pace. It'll do this. If you're thinking about it, please don't wait. If it's something that you want to stock up with your magnesium, this is a great time to do it. A very unique situation where I didn't want to pay to have it moved. I'd rather give you the sale price, and it does not happen. Over 20 years of being a magnesium advocate and selling magnesium, this doesn't happen. So it's very unique. You need 2 bottles for the magnesium, 30 of the magnesium 32 ounce to do the 30-day challenge. So you do need 2 bottles for that. It does have an indefinite shelf life. I would love to know what your most powerful takeaway was, your insight, that piece of information that you connected to during our time together. And by doing that, you have a higher likelihood of taking action on an insight that you maybe received. And it's rocket fuel for me, because when I see those insights, I recognize, oh, I need to talk about this more, or, oh, I should have dropped this. I would love to know. Throw it out in the comment section. I'm going to wait here for a minute. I'm going to grab some water. Oh, I'll do another squirrel while we're waiting for people to share with me their insight. And people who are extroverted, this is an easier thing. People who are introverted, this is harder. It's harder when you're an introvert. And if you are an introvert that's listening right now, I would just be honored to hear your voice. It would, yeah, not that you have to, but I would love it. And it does help me so much to know what your insight was. So, Ruth, let's see here. I never knew about the betaine in relationship with moving MAGA. Oh, you are so welcome. You are so very welcome. And for those of you that are on right now, when you sign up for my Good Life Journal, I do one free class every month. And the next topic is lymph, and it's happening, I believe it's the 28th. So it's coming up soon, and it's a completely free class. The only place I send the link to is to the Good Life Journal. It's a little more in depth, a little bit more private type of class. And I would love for you to go to the website, scroll down to the bottom, and join the Good Life Journal. You don't get the link automatically. It comes out with the Good Life Journal that comes out twice a month. And I would love to have you be on that class. There is a cost to the class. It's not a financial cost. The time that you would be there in the class, and you have to be on video. You wouldn't go to a in-person class with a paper bag over your head, and it helps create an environment that we connect with each other. And so think of being in a room with people who are focused on health and seeing their faces and connecting with them. And if you can't join by video, then wait for next month. This one might not be good for you. but the next one will. This next class will be physically going over some really powerful lymph tools. And the better your lymph moves, the better magnesium moves through your lymph. Okay, so, oh, let's go back to that one. Okay, Ruth, thank you for sharing that with me, that the Betaine protocol helped. Here's what I'd like to do. I would like to send you the BOGO as my gift to you. I will pay your shipping. I will send them out. Is what I need you to do is reach out to, and this is just for Ruth. Sometimes we have people reaching out thinking everyone got it. And I'm giving this to Ruth because she took action, and taking action is what creates optimal health. Ruth, if you will please reach out to hello@Living the Good Life Naturally today. Has to happen today, not next week, not a month from now, but today. And tell Shelly that you were on my live, and that magnesium will go out on Monday. We're already, they've already picked up for orders today, so it will go out on Monday. Oh, you're so welcome, Ruth. You are so very welcome. And I'm excited for you to get that magnesium. If you're thinking about utilizing the magnesium buy one, get one, please don't sit on it. While I've been on this live, our sales have just blown up. And I'll also be going on some other social media platforms. And when those 20, Morgan, are you in here? Oh, he's not. I thought my husband was here. I believe it's 24 pallets. When those pallets are gone, the sale is over, or until the 29th at midnight. They are going fast. It's not a typical sale. It's a really special sale at that price. Don't wait if you want to. I can't tell you how many people reach out and say, oh, I was waiting, or I forgot to go back. I didn't have my credit card. Please, it may not last. Now it might. I can't call it. Sometimes I'll think a sale is just going to blow out of the water and it moves like molasses. And then other times I'm like, oh, that one's going to be a very low input sale and it will blow up. I do know this is not a sale I will be offering again this year. So it's a great time to stock up on magnesium. And I would love for you to get in on that better price and support your body's magnesium levels. Thanks for joining me today so very much. I love being with you. I love the interaction. Thank you for the questions. That is so helpful to me to have the specific questions versus just getting on and trying to figure out what would be helpful. And so I appreciate the feedback. And again, I'm focused on not quite as long lives. So hopefully there was something in this that you pulled some goodness from. Have the best weekend. Bye-bye. Okay, Mr. Lou.